It all starts in the city of Seoul, in 202X inside a very fancy building. Inside the place is luxurious and dark, while someone watches a cool video. Suddenly urgent news pops up and totally kills his vibe. They announce that the shareholders' meeting of the Sanjun Group ended. After a long 13 hours, after much drama, John Song-guk was chosen as the new president. Now he rests peacefully in his room after hearing the big announcement. Compared to the former presidents, he laughs a lot about the scandals they faced. Song-guk, wearing a comfortable robe, asks everyone to praise him even more, imagining employees bowing before him and feeling proud of the effort to get there. They show how he studied a lot and kept his younger siblings in line. John Guk says he solved his uncle's problems in a really boring marriage. Boasting a lot, he mentions a poll that says he's the most likable guy, with a glass of wine in hand. The guy thinks he owns Sam John. Then, he promises a fresh start and says he'll clean up all the old mess. He plans to fire the allies of John Tae-guk, who he never liked anyway. Suddenly, something scares him badly and sends the guy into total panic. Coughing hard, he screams out loud, feeling a crazy pain all over his body, with a sharp pain in his chest. Song-guk collapses on the floor, breathless. Stunned, he stares at something so strange. It feels unbelievable. It's revealed that his grandfather, the founder of Sanjun Group, died of a heart attack. Song-guk swears something like that would never happen to him. Right after someone calls a baby and gently touches its little face, a young couple admires the tiny newborn who looks very cute. That's Song-guk, who just reincarnated as a small baby. Desperate, he screams loudly, trying to understand what happened to him. But the new parents only see the baby crying nonstop. There, the scene shifts to several simple homes in a poorer part of the city, where a mother looks at her son and smiles, with deep affection in her eyes. Thinking he's too adorable, she gives him a very cute nickname. Kim Seo Young, 21 years old, asks if the dad thinks the baby is cute too. John Ji Song. The father says he's cuter than celebrity babies. The mother says Song-guk is lucky to be such a charming baby. After that, the two look at the little one who's sleeping peacefully. Annoyed, the baby thinks luck doesn't explain anything about this situation. Jisung notices that the boy threw the pacifier really far away. Song-guk is way too outraged about this new baby life, feeling really down. He remembers the strong body he had in his past life. Before, he was tall and perfect, but now he's a chubby baby. All of this feels like a horrible nightmare to him. At the moment, he thinks this situation is ridiculous and hard to bear. Now the young couple, both former orphans, laugh about becoming parents. Even without much money, Song-guk thinks about the expensive wine he used to drink to celebrate. Now the mother says it's time for the baby to have his milk. The baby complains a lot about the bad taste of the formula milk, but soon he starts liking it and feels quite satisfied with it, drinking it all. He realizes how annoying it is to have to eat like this. The parents cheer happily that he's eating so well now. Ju Song kisses the baby, and Song-guk hates all that affection from him, remembering his adult life. He thinks all this is totally absurd. The worst part for him is the overly affectionate way of his new parents. In this life, while the couple spoils the baby, he thinks they're way too affectionate. Lying quietly, Song-guk reflects on having parents for the first time. Now alone in his thoughts, he remembers something really heavy from the past. His biological parents abandoned him when he was still very little. The mother says he has to manage on his own, and that she's going to work. Jesse Young says, the oldest always has to take care of the younger ones. To the youngest brother, he tells him to ask Tae-guk for help if needed. Just remembering that makes his anger grow a lot. In that moment, Song-guk thinks it's not the time to get emotional over that. With teary eyes, he can't fall asleep now. Even so, they say babies always end up falling asleep quickly. Noticing he's tired, the mother suggests resting right after that, admiring the sleeping son. She tells the father to relax a bit too. The couple plans something together, while she complains about his work. Kur Seong turns on the TV and asks her to enjoy the moment with him. A news report talks about a scandal involving President John Jishin. They mention bribery and a major investigation against the president. On TV, they show a mysterious man wearing sunglasses and a hat. On the screen, Jason was interrogated, and that makes the baby wake up suddenly. Too scared, Song-guk sits up to see the TV, now so young. asks the father if he saw the baby sit up by himself like that. On the screen, his grandfather's face appears and leaves him in total shock. The family watches the news, talking about a scandal in the Sam John Company. Jam and Richardson appears in court due to serious corruption charges involving politicians. Song-guk thinks all of this is a ridiculous joke and laughs to himself. He sees the man on TV and is sure it's his grandfather, who had already died. The boy is shocked by the scene, while the mother watches him worriedly from the corner. He says he would never forget his grandfather's striking face. No way. Then he starts remembering the year he turned 10 years old. The grandfather was caught giving expensive gifts to politicians and had to go to court. Song-guk reflects on how money and the right connections rule everything in this world. He thinks it's way too stupid to want to get rich slowly through hard, honest work. In his view, only broke people believe in that silly dream of poor couples. When he was little, Song-guk pushed his grandfather's wheelchair in the crowded courtroom. That was just a well-staged play to fool those watching the trial. On that remarkable day, the boy showed he was the official successor of Jun Jushin. Song-guk ended up taking the place that belonged to his grandfather and his father before. Now seeing John Tae-guk on screen, he's surprised and speechless, furious to keeps insulting his brother, calling him greedy and empty-headed. Tae-guk went to study abroad, but ended up getting lost in nonsense over there. Song-guk blames him for wanting to steal his place, without deserving it and arrogantly. But the real problem wasn't suddenly turning into a baby out of nowhere like this. The boy wonders if he's gone back in time, while his parents speak loudly to him. He screams loudly, furious that they stole his future and his former position. Song-guk's new father calls him with a voice full of concern. After all this, the boy refuses the apple juice that the mother insistently offers. He tells her to stop messing up his plans, leaving her embarrassed. The woman gets sad about it and softly murmurs her son's name. At that exact moment, the father comes home, tired from work. The man brings leftover meat from his job, where he works as an experienced chef. He wants to cook a really nice dish to cheer up his wife after everything, but she immediately says the problem is Song-guk again, and he sighs. Father asks if the boy is still glued to the TV all day. Without stopping, the mother says. He gets angry and cries if they change the news channel. The man suggests playing hide and seek with the boy to distract him a bit. Song-guk holds his father's hand without much interest, but soon he demands the TV be turned back on, scaring the man on the spot. The boy says he doesn't have time for silly games right now, needs to chase after important information to understand what's going on. Seong-gap wants to know exactly what's happening in the world out there right now, especially about his grandfather and the so-called simian group he heard about. The boy searches for useful clues to return to his original body from before. The mother tells him to stop with that and turns off the television. Mercilessly, he complains that he hasn't eaten anything all day and is way too skinny. Then she holds the baby in her arms tightly, while he cries loudly without stopping. Song-guk asked his mother to let him go already and stop struggling. A little he feels robbed, because Tae-guk took his place in everything that was his. The boy wants everything he lost back from this crazy mess his life turned into. The woman tells the protagonist to rest a bit and clear his head. For now, tomorrow you can go back to watching the news, she assures him in a calm voice. The boy thinks that turning into a baby made him dumber and more confused than ever. He complains that his emotions are out of control, and he can't take it anymore. When the mother gently caresses his head, he instantly knocks out fast, lying in her warm arms. Song-guk falls asleep without even realizing it. The father notices that the baby finally fell asleep and asks if she's okay after all that. The mother says she's really worried about their son and his behavior. He's almost 1 year old and only watches TV without saying anything yet. Then she confesses that she thinks she's failing as a mother and feels bad about it. The father reassures her, saying that their love will work out and comforts her a lot. And the baby wakes up moving around a lot in his crib. Song-guk feels trapped and desperate to get out of this boring baby situation. He tried to secretly watch the news for days, but didn't find anything useful. The boy laments being stuck in a baby's body, while the world keeps spinning normally. Suddenly, the mother appears in the room and calls for him. with a very sweet voice. She asks if the baby still wants to know about the news, or if he's tired of it. Songguk replies that he's tired of chasing it and doesn't want to try anymore. The mother suggests going out for a nice walk, and he agrees without thinking much. She wants to go to the market to buy food and see pretty flowers. Along the way outside, the day is beautiful with sunshine, and the weather is pleasant for a stroll. The mother sees the neighbor on the street and asks if she's going to work early. The woman says she's dealing with something annoying and will leave later than usual. The two say goodbye as they go their separate ways on the quiet street. Songguk is amazed to find out the young neighbor runs an entire buttland by herself. They arrive at a noisy place with construction, high scaffolding, and scattered materials. Mother tells Songguk that they're at the market now and points to the entrance. She wants to get cheap beans to make a good and refreshing soup at home. The boy complains that she never stops talking and rolls his eyes. At that moment, he hears beams falling with a loud crash that echoes all around. Songguk panics about what's happening and looks around quickly. The beams nearly fall on him and his mother as chaos erupts around them. Dempers falls quickly, while the woman holds the child and screams loudly for help. A loud voice calls room 107, responding to her cry quickly. The neighbor sees So Young badly injured on the ground and becomes very worried. Murmuring softly, the mother says Songguk's name and recognizes the owner's daughter there. Even badly hurt, she hugs the boy, promising to keep him safe. Now the protagonist whispers, "Mommy," several times in a trembling voice full of fear. The child begs his mother not to leave so soon. Paramedic arrives quickly and reports a serious emergency at the scene. He talks to the doctor about the nasty head injury of the patient. There at that exact moment, something strange suddenly catches So Young's attention. Groaning in great pain, the mother wakes up as her husband calls her in worry. Very relieved, the father says So Young's name as he sees her slowly open her eyes. Really nervous, he asks if she's okay and where she thinks she is now. Overwhelmed, the woman looks for Songguk, thinking he's gone for good. The husband points to the boy, clinging to her the entire time without letting go. Gratefully, the father says Songguk is safe despite the big scare. With much love, So Young soothes her son, assuring him everything is fine. Now truly happy, she holds the little one, saying he doesn't need to be afraid. At all, tears fall in streams as the boy cries uncontrollably without being able to stop. Deeply scared, Songguk admits the terror of seeing his mother hurt like that. Looking firmly, he asks if she truly knows the value of her own life. Calm and observant, the father watches the baby moving excitedly in the corner, curious as always. So Young asks her husband about the expensive hospital room. A bit embarrassed, he says her injury isn't that serious after all. Explaining calmly, the man says the doctors asked her to rest. Completely confused inside, she starts thinking about what it means to stay in bed all day. Discreetly as always, he reveals that it's because of her pregnancy. Now suddenly surprised, So Young agrees to rest for an entire week without complaining. Kind and attentive husband asks her to recover with calm and care. A soft cough interrupts the talk, with a polite request for permission. The nurse gently informs that visiting hours are almost over now. So Young asks her son to rest peacefully, while the father says goodbye with love. Confident as always, she hands Songguk to her husband to take good care of him. Outside the hospital now, the father asks the boy if they should go home soon. A bus passes very close, but the fare is too expensive for them, with no money at all. The man wonders how to get back home without delay. Sad inside, Songguk notices how the family is once again out of money. Genuinely impressed, he praises the father's effort to support everyone there, grateful in his heart. The boy remembers the immense love from his mother for them. Always truly tired, he falls asleep with great peace on his face. Right before falling asleep, he murmurs, "Dad," leaving the man surprised and happy. Super excited, the husband celebrates the boy, calling him dad with pride. Days later, fruits decorate the table at a simple and cheerful party. The family celebrates So Young's return with happiness in the air again. Wearing a beautiful traditional outfit, SEO and Guk stands near a big jar there. Totally enchanted, the parents admire their cute little son with smiles, laughing a lot together. They say the baby is more handsome than celebrities out there, proud as always. The father repeats how he thinks the boy is just too beautiful. Slightly annoyed, Song-guk thinks about the situation around him, now reflective inside. He wonders if this is really a party at all. With a restless mind, he complains about the spending after so many recent high bills, gradually changing his mind. He understands that love is always worth more than money. Calm and thoughtful, the boy realizes how important feelings truly are. Super happy. The parents celebrate their son is the best of the whole world, playing with joy. They laugh at the baby's cheerful mischief in their arms. Determined in his heart, Song-guk wants to help more at home. From now on, genuinely concerned. He notices that the parents don't manage their finances properly, serious like never before. The boy predicts money problems in the near future. A loud doorbell sound suddenly distracts him from his thoughts. Curious as always, Song-guk asks who just arrived at the door. In that moment, Kim Young calmly introduces herself as the owner of the nearby building. She suggests the baby become a famous model one day and offers to be the boy's godmother. With affection, an ad pops up calling attention to auditions for cheerful child actors. They're looking for new child stars at Studio Building 0011. Floor packed once there. The mother and baby observe the place. Impressed by everything, Song-guk finds the building decent and ridiculously expensive. Meanwhile, the mother fears they came for nothing. But the son completely disagrees. Way too excited, he insists that it's a rare golden opportunity. Days before that, the family discusses the child actor job seriously. A neighbor says the company needs a child for a quick commercial. With an extremely cold look, she analyzes the boy in a dry manner. Even so, she compliments his appearance with a faint smile. The mother highlights the little one's natural talent with clear pride. In her arms, Song-guk makes a weird and really funny face. He assures that those born to shine will succeed and make money easily. Song-guk reveals he grew up surrounded by cameras all his life. Makeup and posing have been basic skills for him since early on. That's why they once called him the heir who looks like an actor. More confident than ever, he plans to crush it and win the whole prize. After that, he wants to reinvest the money in something cool. Suddenly, he hesitates and wonders what he's even doing right now. The mother lets another woman with a baby go ahead of her in the crowded elevator. The other baby stares at the very tense Song-guk. Song thinks the little one is way too cute. And the nanny says he's a rich hair. An Elliot woman appears and immediately tells her to be quiet. Curious as always, she asks if Song-guk's mother came for the audition. The mother quickly denies it. But the rival in green claims her son will win easily. That makes Song-guk furious upon hearing her words. Now the woman compliments the boy's fierce gaze, and the mother calls him too imposing. Song-guk notices her chic style and the simple manny by her side. The elevator stops quickly and the doors open with a loud noise. Confident as ever, the rival repeats that she'll win the entire competition. Film crew test child 8 from a different side angle. Then the director asks for a look toward the camera, and the mother approves the quick take. So Gi-yeon finds filming way too difficult, and Song-guk confirms it with a slight nod. He thinks it's just a simple screen test for children. He observes how they check how the kids appear on the big screen now, and he notices the warm lights really bother the little ones for real. The crew calls child 10 Lee Jae-hoon in a big rush. The director reveals that the rival is the wife of the wealthy, deep punk paper owner. Song-guk recognizes the company as a decent mid-sized business. Challenging as always, he wants to see what she's really capable of. Now smiling brightly, the director calls Jae for his turn in the test. He asks for a big smile, but the boy looks uncomfortable with all of it. The mother insists that he smiles soon, but the boy still seems lost. Right after that, he bursts in aloud, non-stop crying. The director says the crying is ruining the whole shoot. Now the mother quickly disagrees and firmly asks the crew for patience. Other children wait anxiously, but she complains about the staff's rush. A man is now analyzing the baby's files with full attention. He asks the assistant to take the mother and the child outside. Right away, furious like never before. She hears that the auditions will continue without her. The man calls Song-guk loudly, and so Young responds immediately with pride. He steps onto the stage with clearly visible attitude and confidence. Then, The director announces his turn in the audition with a clear voice. Now the mother smiles happily and murmurs her son's name softly. At that very moment, the rival bumps into Seo Young to get better look at everything. Song-guk promises to show how real success is done. He shines with cuteness and energy that charm everyone there. The man in blue and the mother are surprised by his talent, prompting the man to suggest the boy come closer to him quickly. Now he compliments the side profile shots, which are coming out absolutely great. He asks for a cute pose, and Seung-gut nails it with his stylish rocket jacket. The crew brings props to highlight his pose even more. Now truly impressed, the man finds everything amazing and way too perfect. Meanwhile, the rival with brown hair gets irritated at hearing that Song-guk is a born genius. The director quickly calls the child a genius and wants to sign a contract right away. Surprised, the mother asks if Song-guk is really that good. Soon a man rushes over to speak with her. Kwak-jun introduces himself with an enthusiastic smile, eager to sign the contract. He questions the conditions. Suspicious, the mother finds everything strange, acknowledging the exaggeration. Kwak-jun highlights Song-guk's talent. Amazed, he reports the boy's success in front of the cameras. Confidently, the man says the protagonist understood everything and the boy agrees. Excited, Kwak-jun celebrates the possibility of working with the boy. Meanwhile, the mother gets lost in all the excitement. Bothered, she protests against what looks like a predetermined winner. Determined, the woman bets everything on Dao E is the best. The moment arrives to present the finalists, Song-guk and Lee Jae-hee. Someone tells a family to wait in a side room. Tense, So Young senses the pressure in the air. Proud, she says her son's a finalist and considers him talented. Confident, the protagonist guarantees that no one can beat him. Nervous, the mother begins to doubt, while an older woman watches kindly. The elderly woman asks if So Young needs anything, and she mentions the restroom. Helpful. The older woman assists the busy mother and suggests she go quickly. Curious, the elderly woman praises Song-guk's impressive demeanor, but the other woman doubts what she's hearing. Annoyed, she protests against the comparison of her son to the protagonist. Furious, she threatens to fire the elderly woman because of it. Critical, the woman keeps talking, and the elderly lady admits her mistake with a joke. Song-guk expresses the wish to cheer the woman up with a gesture. Then the assistant director appears embarrassed, offering apologies, worried the woman was about to call someone. But the man goes to find the person in charge. Determined, the assistant runs to get whoever is responsible for Song-guk. Calmly, she explains that the mother left the boy with the elderly woman. To talk honestly, the woman says she entered the competition to create memories with Jae-hee. Curious, the assistant asks if that's fair. Surprised, the protagonist hears the woman say that Jae already won. Hesitant, the man agrees. But Song-guk asks if it's true. It's revealed that the model was already chosen, and the audition is just for show. The scheme of using children in a fake show is revealed cautiously. The man asks the woman to avoid trouble with the director. It's clear the boy has many awards, while the director controls everything. Confident, the man says the child was well prepared, but the mother promises a tutor calm. The other mother wants a tutor for her son. Too sure of himself, the assistant thinks Jae he is better than the protagonist. Suggesting practice, the man sees the boy confused, asking for calm. He tells Song-guk to repeat something, and the boy gets nervous. Sneaky assistant gives a sly smile. Announce the final audition. Shifts the mood to competition. It's decided. The winner will be whoever speaks the lines with naturalness. Excited, Song-guk's mother asks him to focus, and he gives a thumbs up. Loudly, the director shouts action to begin everything. It's explained that the test evaluates how well babies follow instructions. Guiding, the man adjusts the baby's position in front of the camera. Correcting, the woman says the boy is on the wrong side. Decisively, Kwak-jun suggests starting with Song-guk and leaving the baby for later. Firmly, the director asks the assistant to read the lines, and he confirms. By comparison, the already rehearsed Jae he seems much better than the protagonist. The man thinks Song-guk won't be able to say it pay, but happily the boy repeats it clearly with a huge smile. Shocked, the assistant didn't expect that reaction. Satisfied with it, The director says Song-guk managed to truly surprise everyone. But Jae-ji's mother requests that they give her son another chance. The director, tired of the argument, observes how the baby is being held. He encourages the boy to try, saying, "Daddy," screaming. The child squirms while the mother holds him in her arms. Sadly, she lowers her head and says something is wrong. The woman in sweats, she trained her son. But the director asks how resolutely. The assistant announces the end of the audition. He thanks and praises everyone's effort. And Song-guk says it's over. Surprisingly, the announcement names Jae-hee as the winner. The protagonist is shocked and doesn't know what to say. The protagonist's mother is taken back by the scene. She complains that something is off and can't believe what she's seeing so young. Defends her son, saying he nailed the audition. The assistant tries to calm everyone down, but says being cute isn't enough to act. Jae's mother provokes, saying success only comes from appearance. Arrogantly, she questions the worth of the others there. Even so, she thinks second place is enough for someone simple. Another woman acknowledges the rival's effort. She's exhausted and decides to leave the place with indignation. Song-guk's mother expresses sadness over the cruelty she witnessed. The protagonist tries to cheer up his mother. With a smile, he announces that everything is still on track. In the middle of a rush, the director apologizes and calls for Seon-guk's mother. Nervous, the man insists on talking to her. The boy reveals that he was always the favorite from the start. Irritated, he declares that cheating always ends up winning. Full of confidence, he assures that a clever man aims for bigger goals. Anxiously, the director wants to talk about contacts with the mother, together with the woman and the baby. He curses the guilty ones as scumbags. Sadly, he suggests the audition was rigged by powerful people. The man apologizes to the boy for showing him something wrong. Then the director calls the protagonist for a commercial next week. Excited, the boy dreams of being a star and making money. He plans to use the profit to help his family. The mother is confused, but the man explains that backup babies are common. Worried, the boy thinks the plans might fail. The desperate director begs for the mother's help. She fears for her son's health in the middle of all this. Enthusiastically, the protagonist agrees to shoot the commercial. The director praises the boy's understanding. Then he hands over a card with contacts for future projects. So young, and the baby watch everything, finding it amazing, impressed. She says she's never seen anything like this in the forest. Friendly, the assistant arrives, saying hello. The protagonist stares at the corrupt director with fury. Then the man offers to take the woman and the baby to the waiting room. Calmly, he guides the two along a simple path. The boy is surprised and can't believe what he's seeing. The assistant shows a washing machine from St. John. Another guy praises the product, saying the family loved it. Annoyed, the earlier woman asks why those people are there. She complains to the assistant about the losers on set. So Gemma explains they were called as backups. The assistant says replacements are useful if anything goes wrong. A woman insists the main model is fine. Her son gets stressed because she seems to say the opposite. Furious, the woman calls So Young useless and tells her to leave. Someone complains about the noise and introduces the actress. Sime curiously. She asks if the babies are the chosen ones. The assistant shows the two babies want a backup in the winner. Approaching, she chooses the one who cries when he sees her. She's disappointed by the child's reaction. Sadly, she assumes the baby doesn't like her. The protagonist introduces himself to the lead actress. Charmed, she finds the boy adorable. The mother is happy that he agrees with the compliment. Shocked, the other mother sees the actress prefer this baby. She grabs the blonde woman's arm tightly. The actress asks her to calm down and let go right away. Now irritated, she asks who this nosy woman even is. Her hand suddenly touches her shoulder. Confused, a man asks, "What's going on there?" The actress introduces him as the vice president. He says he didn't miss the chance to join the campaign. The boy can't believe it and thinks all of this is impossible. That's John Jae-hyun, Song-guk's father and vice president of Samjin. Curious, the boy wants to know more about John Jae-hyun, vice president of Samjin, now described as ordinary. He's nowhere near the level of his father. President John Jushin, even so, the late vice president was good at what he did every day. He led the company through a crisis and helped it grow a lot, with effort. He bet on new ideas and quickly became a famous leader in business. In short, John J. Hyung was a successful vice president within the whole team, but Song-guk says he failed as a husband and father at home. Remembering that brings pain to the protagonist every time he thinks about it. He says his father had several mistresses over the years. Suddenly, a woman recognizes Song-guk from a distant time in the past. The boy stares at his father's forgotten mistress in total surprise. That woman is none other than Sun-mei, who appears now. She says she's filming with children and is very fond of one boy in particular. Watching everything, a man thinks the boy is really clever. He greets the little one politely with a very friendly smile. The protagonist calls the man dad, which deeply shocks his current mother. A heavy atmosphere takes over the man in that tense moment. Soon after, someone in a suit tells him he has to leave immediately. The father from the past says he's late for an important meeting. He asks them to take care of the filming with a serious and concerned look. Now, the mother of another child is terrified by all of this. Hesitating a bit, she accepts a tough task. But the boy says it's always hard to challenge John J. Hyung. Song-guk describes the man as a unique type. In real life, he seemed like a silly womanizer, but shined with full force in business. John advises the boy to take care during the day's filming. He gives a quick smile before leaving the place. Now after that, he walks away without ever looking back. The protagonist promises the father from his past a different life. Now he declares that he found a family to protect with all his heart. Too ambitious, he wants to create a company bigger than Sam John. One day, he says they'll meet again in the near future, shouting loudly. The director's assistant tells everyone to get ready quickly. He says the director will arrive soon to start everything here. He asks the child models to wait quietly without making a mess, smiling oddly. The protagonist says the past has become the present again. He and his mother face the rival with a sharp and mischievous look. A fun washing machine commercial starts filming. It shows a mother carefully cleaning the father's sweaty shirt. The shirt becomes sparkling white, and the baby happily calls out to the dad. The final shot focuses on the truly clean and new machine. This old commercial was a hit, and the child actor quickly became famous. Knowing what comes next, the protagonist gives a sly smile. Now Shimmy complains that she doesn't want to film with the agitated baby at all. Too confused, she asks why the boy has been acting so strange lately. She says he gets angry whenever she comes near him. Song-guk's mother finds the boy's behavior strange all day. Proudly, the protagonist says he gave the boy a brilliant idea yesterday. He says that if the boy messes things up, they'll get to go home earlier. Even as babies, the two boys seem to understand each other too well. The director thinks the commercial isn't working and suggests switching the model quickly. A woman complains that the winner deserves full spotlight in the video. Now what Jonas says. The baby won't stop interfering with the actress no matter what. He demands a quick solution to finish filming that very day. The boy's mother explains over the phone that the grandfather adores the baby. Too much super nervous. The woman threatens to call the grandfather and change the whole crew. A shadow suddenly appears near her. In that tense moment, Shouldn't reacts by slapping the woman hard across the face. The director and the protagonist's mother watch the chaos in silence. Shaken like that, the woman is left speechless. After the slap, just now, she says, "What's happening there is absurd." At that moment, Shin-mei says she hates people who mess up the set without any reason. Always she accuses the woman of acting entitled for having an important husband at the company. The director suggests restarting with the baby right away. The actress insists on filming with the protagonist, pointing to him now anxiously. She insists on reshooting with him right now. Song-guk is pointed at once again by the excited staff. Surprised, both mothers are left speechless by this. Preparations begin when the director gives the signal. Quickly confused, another woman asks, "What's going on around there?" Irritated, she complains, "Are filming the boy instead of Jae-hee." A voice criticizes the boy, calling him a troublemaker with no future. So Young tries to protect the protagonist from that with total firmness. Suddenly the camera shows a red light glowing brightly. Song-guk says he's followed it to the end, before calmly smiling. The protagonist looks into the lens with naturalness and confidence. Even so, the director thinks it's hard to act that quickly. The filming begins, and Sydney speaks to the baby with gentle affection. Grabbing the clothes, the boy now lets out an extremely cute "Daddy happy." The director cheers over the scene, captured so well. The main camera follows the baby in action with focus. Tenderness fills the moment as the mother holds the little one in her arms. The baby's rosy cheeks steal the attention across the entire screen. Impressed, the director notices the smart boy's steady gaze. The actress admires Siebenbach with a wide smile. In disbelief, she wonders how he can act so well. Showing a card, the assistant guides the scene. Clearly excited son, May says the baby truly loves clean clothes. Presenting the product, she calls it trustworthy for everyone. Together, mother and baby smile to wrap up the shoot with charm. Satisfied, the director prays the perfect result. This time, the whole team finds the performance amazing and very cool. Even so, someone finds it all ridiculous. For some reason, the furious woman complains angrily about the choice of the protagonist. Kwok Juana questions the boy as a rookie actor with no experience. Tired so young, and her son look worn out after all this. Someone tries to calm Song-guk's mother with kind words. Shumi criticizes an actress, saying she never improves. A woman mocks the other child loudly during the shoot. Praising the protagonist, the actress compares him to the weaker rival. The other boy's mother curses the crew out loud. Demanding answers, she confronts the assistant with a serious tone. Kwak Juana complains about his salary with disgust and a grimace. Calmly, the man suggests talking later somewhere else. The woman criticizes the commercial as something really bad. She threatens to sue and increases the tension with loud shouting. Apologizing, the director speaks gently to Song-guk's mother. Grateful, she says. The man worked really hard for them. Kwak Juana thanks the protagonist for the success with sincere emotion. Informing everyone he gives permission to leave right now. Cheerfully, the baby enjoys the ride home. The happy So young, the boy notices his mother's fatigue and asks her to rest. Smiling son, May now watches the pair with shining eyes. Offering a ride, she invites them into her van. The baby drools a lot while sleeping peacefully in the back seat. Chatting in the car, the woman finds the little one's sleep too cute. So young thanks her warmly and talks to Sinmei the whole way. Confused, she hears that the boy deserves congratulations himself. Sinmei praises the boy's performance with pride. Truly impressed, she highlights his talent with the camera. The actress observes everything and notices the perfect harmony between the two. With admiration, she praises the boy's full presence on screen. Chun Mei firmly declares and now calls the boy a complete actor. Mother is startled and takes in a compliment about her son with surprise. Excited son, Mei suggests something new while talking to Seo Young. The protagonist slowly wakes up and opens his still sleepy eyes. The actress proposes something mysterious and leaves a suspenseful air. Mother and boy are truly shocked by what she said. The boy lights up with excitement and asks eagerly if it's real. The neighbor arrives showing money and says, "It's 4 million and one." Everyone is surprised by the smart baby's high payment. This little one earned 1 million more than the parents expected. Someone comments that choosing a baby actor was truly a genius idea. The protagonist smiles and says, "Money is the best thing in life." The family discusses together how to use the 4 million won. The father is happy because he's never had that much money in his hands before. But the mother seems uneasy with everything happening now. He asks what's wrong, as she quickly calls the landlord. The mother shows a card that actress I Am Sinmi gave her last night. Shocked, the landlord stares at the famous actress's business card. That card is from Sinsung Entertainment. The actress's agency, So Gung, says, Semi really like their cute baby and wants to make him an exclusive actor for her company. Soon curious, the landlord asks if that's really true. The father says maybe they want to make the baby famous, and the mother isn't sure. The neighbor finds the little one's success incredible and happily supports him. Then she promises to investigate more about this strange situation. Now the woman says she's heard about Sinsung Entertainment before and plans to check who's in charge there and how they treat rookie actors. The young thanks her for the support, and the protagonist is impressed by her effort. The neighbor congratulates the baby for his first job. In a cool commercial, she says the video will be out in 2 weeks and runs off to handle something in a hurry. So Young waves goodbye to the family quickly. The landlord asks if the mother is okay, and she shakes her head no. Curious. The mother wants to know why they're getting so much help like this. The neighbor says she saw talent in the baby and always supported the young couple. She simply wanted to give them some support during this special moment. Alone since she was young, she saved money to buy that old property. The woman thanks them for moving nearby and wishes them success. She was just being curious and so young. Doesn't need to worry about that surprise. The mother listens to all of this attentively. Now asked if she can call the other woman auntie. Like a cool older sister, the neighbor wants to treat them like family, and even cook something delicious later delighted. She talks about the warmth of that lively home, and accepts the nickname Yuni, with a big smile on her lips. The protagonist hears the two of them, deciding how they'll call each other from now on. The father just observes and asks what the boys doing there standing still together. They talk about the nice weather outside. A message shows that 2 weeks have already flown by since that day. The father says the store closed earlier, so the family could enjoy themselves. He calls the boss who owns a good food store grateful. The father thanks him for closing early, so they could all watch the commercial together. The boss says the store's big TV will help everyone watch excited. The man wants to see his son's first commercial on the big screen now. Annie arrives running and asks if she's not late for the premiere. So Gwen invites her in to watch with the gathered family and says she arrived at just the right time because it feels like a movie is starting. The father announces that the commercial is about to start and asks everyone to sit down quickly. Someone comments on the nice weather outside, but the laundry at home is dirty. In the commercial, Seung-mi asked her son what to do about the mess. Song-guk's mother points to him on the TV, full of motherly pride. The video features a new washing machine that solves everything. Quickly, the actress talks about the baby's clothes, and he calls out to his dad on screen, smiling. The little one looks at the camera with a lot of charm. The family watches the commercial full of excitement and cheers. The boss shouts that the clothes came out perfect with that new washing machine. Annie thinks the commercial is absolutely amazing and claps hard now. Song-gak praises the editing and bets it could even win a good prize. Father tells his son that he's super proud of him in this special moment and says the boy is handsome and well-mannered. But the little one asks him to stop. The boss answers the phone and says the store is closed today, but he's shocked by something he hears on the other end of the line. Now the director says he filmed with Siwon-guk and knows everyone watched together. He called because he has something urgent to discuss with the Smart Boys family. A smiling young man appears holding a piece of paper in his hand at the inn the next day. The director thanks them for such a special visit. The couple happily return the gesture for having been invited to the station. Kwak Jun-hae gets curious and asks how Song-gak is doing. All excited, the boy shouts director at the man with enthusiasm. Noticing the protagonist is more talkative, the mother thinks he's learning fast. According to her, little Song-guk murmurs all day non-stop. The director believes the boy can now get much bigger lines. Soon he predicts the boy will recite any script with ease. Eager to see Song-guk grow, the man invites everyone to sit down, explaining the reason. He reveals a show with the boy as the star called Just Baby Project. Already has its title set. It's a fun reality show about taking care of little kids. 5 famous idols will live daily with Song-guk. Full of excitement, the director says he'll introduce the group. Now suddenly, someone appears to introduce themselves to everyone. Taeyoung leads the group and gives a very cheerful greeting. Showing enthusiasm, he says he really enjoys working with them. With a smile, the man shows off a charm that impresses everyone. Delighted, So Young hears her confused husband ask who that is. She quickly replies that she's seen the group on television before. Taeyoung admits the team still needs to improve in many ways. So Young compliments the group's amazing music and dances. Song-guk's father jealous. Here's the boy say that's not nice. According to the director, the other members will be revealed in the upcoming filming. Worried about everything, So Young gets very thoughtful, now thinking it's too much for her son. She hears him promise to always remember her. Kwak Jun, he sees the little one is the soul of the program. After all, the boy picks up on what others want without effort. Curious. The director asks if the boy agrees to participate in this remembering. While the protagonist has already seen the show in a past life, surrounded by a crying baby, the group seems totally lost in all this. Meanwhile, two students think the little one is absolutely adorable. Watching TV, an elderly couple laughs at the clumsy antics of the young idols. Someone asks about the mother, when a balloon says the show exploded. Seeing the opportunity, the protagonist dreams of getting rich as a child star. Watching his son, the father notices his excitement, but feels a bit uneasy. Worried, he fears the boy might miss out on a more normal childhood. Another of his fears is that fame will complicate the boy's life too early by revealing this. He hopes to raise his son with less pressure, showing understanding. Taehyung nods and supports the father's perspective. While explaining, the idol says he doesn't regret acting since he was little. According to him, childhood offered good moments and abundant support. With a question, Taehyung tries to understand why the father doesn't trust his son. If the boy can shine, he guarantees to offer this opportunity. Now full of pride, the father points out that his son surpasses anyone in talent. By accepting, he acknowledges that the boy's destiny may truly be to shine. With a handshake, the two agree to take good care of Songguk. Announcing the reality show, the director reveals the premiere to all of Korea. While signing the contract, the father shows signs of stress about everything. After that, the baby smiles, ready to begin the recordings. The first day of filming arrives with a lot of energy in the air. Introducing themselves, the group shouts, just full of excitement. Now Taehyun and Lucas are part of the members of this team. Following the list are Jaehyun and Byamso next finally. Michael completes the famous idol group. Greeting everyone, they say they're happy to work together. A fan of the group, So Young gets excited and the husband feels jealous. According to the director, filming starts today at their dorm united, and they all promise full focus on this very special project. Thinking hard, Songguk here is his best to just act naturally. Recognizing faces, the boy now remembers his past life. Greeting them, the group meets the president of Samjeon. There, Songguk finds it curious that he's seen these guys at past events. A young man in a cap laughs and says, "The baby isn't that cute." The protagonist gets annoyed that they touched him without any permission. Michael is surprised to hear the blonde boy tell him to wash his hands. Quickly, Songguk remembers that this guy was a problem in his past life. Confident, the boy promises to create amazing moments for everyone there. While Michael gets irritated, the others find Songguk way too adorable. Muttering, the young man in the cap says to wait and see what comes next. The director clearly explains how today's filming will work. For 3 days, the group will shoot scenes, and then the episodes will be edited. He says today, we'll focus on general shots because the sun is strong. When night falls, the crew will leave and surveillance cameras will take over. Kwak-jun, I'll suggest a nearby hotel for SEO and Guk's parents to stay, and he promises total care for the boy and asks the anxious mother for trust. One man asks if that's all, and the other replies, of course. Quickly excited, everyone agrees to give their best to make the project work. The assistant says the first scene will later get a voiceover from an actor. 5 young men live in a semi-basement in Seoul and dream of becoming idols. Suddenly a baby appears and surprises the whole group there. Named Songguk, the little one stares at the blonde guy with curious eyes. Meanwhile, the boys watch the baby sitting alone on the floor. Mother asks about lines, but the assistant explains the reality show style. Observing the little one, he notices the lack of reaction, and the director asks for calm. The pink-haired youth announces that the cameras are rolling, and the blonde guy runs out of ideas in his thoughts. The boy believes the newcomers are lost in this situation, deciding to take the lead. He steps up in this new and strange environment. Suddenly, the baby cries loudly and stirs up the atmosphere. One of them panics, and another orders them to calm the baby down, quickly trying to help. The blonde guy fails, and the pink-haired one criticizes his approach. Another young man picks up the baby and says he'll take him somewhere else. Curious, he wonders if the little one got scared by all the commotion. Meanwhile, the others joke that babies like prettier faces. Annoyed by the joke, the protagonist shows his displeasure in his expression. Then he talks about the unique personalities the guys have. Taeyoung leads with intelligence and acts almost like the group's dad. Jae-hyung mixes kindness with narcissism and also has a motherly side. Lucas seems like a laid-back athlete and always acts like an older brother. The last one to join the team stands out for being quiet and uniquely handsome, observing an inexperienced young man. He identifies the perfect rival for success with a suggestion in mind. He says the baby can act as a rival without becoming a villain. While looking at the little one, Jae-hyun feels something strange coming from him. So he says the baby needs a new diaper. Taehyung has never changed one before. Michael takes on the task because he has cared for younger siblings before. While changing the diaper, he says it's easy and uncomplicated. But little Ngok actually wants to make the young man's life harder. Suddenly a stream of pee hits his face and he reacts in shock. Laughing at the mess, the baby enjoys it all. While Michael gets really annoyed because of this mess, the tension rises among the guys there trying to talk. Taeyoung attempts to call Michael for a quick conversation, but the guy yells because of the baby, and the blonde asks him to get it together quickly. The father and assistant laugh because the scene turned out perfect for filming, while the crew burst out laughing. The director cheers for the amazing result. With a break announced, he grants 2 hours before filming resumes. During a break, Lucas complains about the difficulty, while Taeyoung suggests a script praising the little one. The mother hears that he found it all pretty smooth. With a banana offered, he comments that the baby loves it and the boy gets excited. Surprised, the father realizes the little one has never enjoyed a banana that much before. Grateful for the visit, Taeyoung greets the father with a wide smile by suggesting a light conversation. He convinces the man, who agrees without hesitation. Impressed, the blonde finds the father a truly interesting person. Close to the baby, he gets involved in the situation and doesn't even notice how much he's enjoying it, noticing everything. He says the scenes come out great because they're natural. Admiringly, the young man praises JM because he's good with kids. Taeyoung realizes the baby understands the rules and acts accordingly. Curious, the father asks if the talent is just coincidence, and the blonde agrees, praising him further. He says the little one has exceeded all expectations. Here Lucas comes out of the shower and complains about the baby, looking really angry, frustrated with the situation. Michael asks if artists really have to take care of kids. Meanwhile, we see the assistant say something needs to go into the fridge, now asking what's going on. The idol finds out it's the baby's dinner, demanding the dish. Michael grabs the food and wants to handle everything himself. Determined, he gets the little one ready because he finds babysitting really annoying. Planning something, he wants to make the boy stand out so everyone can see. The guy grumbles because adults force an artist to care for children, and he promises to cause a scandal over it. Then he complains a lot because the kid threw some gross liquid right in his face. Michael glares at the protagonist and says, it's now his turn to feel the same. The assistant on the stairs confirms the hidden cameras are ready and tells everyone to leave the set quickly, thanking the entire crew. The director celebrates the success of another night shoot. Suddenly someone shouts, "So," and the door slams loudly. Right after discussing the next steps as a group, the guys notice the tense atmosphere, and one suggests relaxing like they always do. However, spotting a camera, he complains that relaxing is impossible with so many eyes around. Lucas says he's starving and wants dinner soon, while another admits he has no idea how to cook. Jae-hyun asks no one to overexert themselves and thinks it's better if everyone rests a bit. Tae-hyun suggests making some quick instant noodles, while another reminds them the baby also needs to eat something. Michael confidently says he's already taking care of the food for everyone. The blonde asks curiously what the guy in orange is doing and finds him annoying, but the other ignores him and says he'll say whatever he wants, still deciding to help the guy. In orange takes the food to the baby, with a very strange look on his face. Watching the scene from afar, the protagonist feels something strange is happening there, sitting calmly on the floor. The young man offers food to the baby and says, the mother went all out this time. The baby grabs the spoon tightly and seems excited about the food in front of him. Then he makes a funny gesture and tells the guy to open his mouth, as if he's going to eat too. Taeyong mutters that the other guy spoils the baby too much, but still finds the little one super adorable, laughing a lot at the situation. The baby tells Michael to make someone taste the food first. Blonde asks, confused what the other is doing, and says the baby is waiting, but his friend doesn't understand why he should eat something like that. Taeyong quickly says he'll take the baby's food to eat it all himself, chatting casually with the little one. He says he'll try a bite, but Michael asks him to wait just a minute. At that exact moment, the blonde stands with his mouth wide open and seems shocked by what he sees. Jack-young worriedly asks what's wrong with Jack-young now. Michael suddenly realizes that something bad is about to happen there. Angry about the mess, the baby stares at everyone and warns that whoever messed with his food is going to be in trouble. Upon tasting a little, Taeyong notices the strong flavor of spicy sauce in the dish. Surprised by the taste, he yells for Michael to fix the situation. Embarrassed, the guy admits he put spicy sauce in the baby's food and claims it was just a silly joke. Excited by the idea, he argues that videos like this are more entertaining, but someone replies that jokes obviously have limits, uneasy with how things are unfolding. A friend questions the group's decisions and fears serious consequences in the future. Slowly, the blonde approaches Songguk for a conversation, apologizing for his colleague. He considers the other guy's behavior childish in the situation. Two guys criticize a third for speaking harshly to the baby, but Michael insists the little one understands everything, clearly reflecting on the group. The protagonist concludes that the adults around him had a lot of potential, full of confidence and wearing a smile. He decides to lead this group from now on. In a quick scene change, Songguk's family home appears on screen. Shocked by the news, they react to finding out the show reached 20% viewership. Excited by the success, the woman makes the whole family happy with the result, celebrating the achievement together. Everyone considers the number amazing and huge for a show like this. Kamliani explains that similar shows usually reach at most 15%. Very excited on the phone. The director celebrates the show's entry into the permanent TV lineup, the woman feeling very proud. Congratulates the baby and praises his success on the show. Pleased with himself, the boy says success is natural since he's the boss there. Always ambitious, he declares that he still wants much more than this, without stopping dreaming big. The baby imagines fame and money pouring in, surprised by his strange smile. Ani calls the little one a different kind of child. The mother asks for a moment to speak privately with the woman about something serious, revealing the news. She says someone from Sinsum Entertainment showed up at her house, explaining further. The mother says they came to congratulate them on the show's success. A man delivers a fruit basket and says the CEO wants to meet her personally, firmly instructing her. The man tells the woman to go with the agent at the arranged time. The two debate anxiously whether they should accept this strange invitation or not, emphasizing the weight of the name. She talks about the massive influence of Sinsum Entertainment in the industry, commenting on circulating rumors. The woman mentions bad stories about the company's CEO, shocked by what they hear. The couple is stunned by rumors of ties to gangs. Honey nervously asks if they should go right now and clear up this whole mess. Thinking about the invitation, she says it's hard to refuse, but they can leave whenever they want. Worried about all of this, the baby slowly says the company's name. Then the CEO's recognizing the name from somewhere. He wonders if it's the same person he's heard of before. Arguing loudly, the mother and neighbor talk nonstop, while the boy tries to calm them down. Surprised by the revelation, the woman finds out that the man is the father of the two main characters. Then a group of men in suits makes an offer and asks if everything's okay with her. Thinking of Shin's slum tomb, the protagonist says he's dangerous and advises against any contract with him. A man in a white suit invites the family to sit down, showing a very friendly smile. Yuni thanks CEO Shin Sung-jun for the invitation, very polite, curious about the reason. Yuni asks, and the CEO replies that he has something amazing for Songguk. Songguk looks confused, trying to remember if he already knows this strange man, but one agrees to hear more about what he wants to propose. Shin Sang-jun excitedly reveals that it's a super special contract. He explains that Sinong-guk will be the highlight of Shin Sang Entertainment, the biggest in Korea, surprised by the idea. Yoonhee hears that the contract lasts a full 10 years. The man lists famous actors from the agency, including the talented Sin. The CEO guarantees that SEO Hyung-guk will shine alongside these huge names. Reviewing the contract, Annie notices the boy's mother doesn't understand any of it, worried about everything. The older sister carefully follows every word. Man details that the deal lasts 10 years, leaving 70% of the profit to the company. Shocked by the 70%, the protagonist thinks it's outright robbery. He considers the contract a complete joke and totally unfair to him. Song-guk suspects the company just wants to profit off his hard work. Thinking it over, the boy realizes the CEO hasn't changed at all. Suddenly, he remembers seeing this man in a past life. Song-guk says that his father used to make shady deals with Shin Sung-jun in exchange for favors. Sad about the past, he remembers that those deals ended in scandals. Shin Sung-jun swears that in over 10 years, he's never seen talent like his. Confident in the proposal, he promises to turn Song-guk into a famous actor. The protagonist argues that child actors disappear when they grow up. Yoonhee warns that the CEO's plan is to exploit Song-guk, with that phony contract deciding on the spot. She rejects the offer without a second thought. Intrigued by the rejection, the CEO asks why they threw away this chance. Owen explains that 70/30th plus 10 years makes the deal impossible. Confident in the future, she bets on the boy's enormous potential. Gradually, the meeting becomes too tense to bear. Doubting the family, the CEO asks if they even understand entertainment. He says child actors are in little, until Sidong-guk curses him and calls him a scumbag. The man says appearances can change, but the mother cuts him off, angry at how he's treating her son. Irritated with everything, the protagonist and his mother exchanged furious looks. Song-guk complains that the CEO talks too much, sounding like an annoying frog. Trying to calm the baby, the mother faces his yelling with no success. Annie criticizes the CEO for lacking vision and announces that they're done here. The man retorts that she's not even the mother, so she shouldn't interfere so much. So-yeon quickly replies that she's the manager, not an intruder determined to help. Yoonhee explains that she's caring for the boy in this situation, with experience in advertising. She thinks the contract is a bad joke. Nervous about their attitude, the CEO says they'll regret this. Arrogant as ever, he swears that no one ignores him in the industry. Shin Sam-jun says their choices reveal who they really are. Calm under pressure, Yoonhee replies that time will show everything together. And without hesitation, the manager and mother leave the building, determined, furious with the man. The woman calls him absolute trash. She says threatening a pregnant woman is something only a monster would do, and the baby agrees, worried about the mother. Annie asks if she's okay, but Seo-young says she's faced worse. Knowing the industry, she says people like the CEO aren't worth the effort. Practical in her thinking, the manager suggests catching the bus nearby. Thinking about the future, the mother wonders if she can manage the boy. The protagonist thinks having her around would be really nice. Explains that finding someone trustworthy is rare when starting something, confident in the plan. Song-guk sees Yoonhee as someone loyal and smart to him. She's definitely proven herself worthy of trust. Modest about herself, the manager says she's not an expert in entertainment. Enchanted by her, the baby looks at her with eyes full of admiration. Excited in the moment, Song-guk asks Yoonhee to be his faithful partner. The mother smiles, saying, "You and the boy already likes her too much." Moved by the request, she begs Yoonhee to protect his future. Surprised by everything, the woman thanks them, finding a new dream in life. So-yeon hugs Yoonhee, calling her manager Kim, who promises to give her best. Laughing about fortune, everyone talks about winning together and jokes about payment. Right after that, a reporter interviews the CEO about Kim Yeon. Shocked by the news, the reporter discovers she owns the family's building. Threatening in tone, the CEO promises to show the cruel side of the industry. To anyone who resists a fight, suddenly breaks out, and Taeyong shouts as Michael and the baby fight over bananas. Annoyed by the situation, the boy complains that only Seonga gets everyone's bananas, devouring several bananas non-stop. The protagonist ignores his friends to avoid sharing. seeing this smiling at the scene. The director watches Michael asking for more bananas, talking among themselves. The other guys around say, it all seems like madness. Out of nowhere, a slap echoes as Song Gok hits Michael, furious about a hey. Gemma asks how he dared to hit his brother. Tension builds up until someone shouts for them to stop the fight. Satisfied with the result, the director decides to wrap up filming for the day, praising the team's work. He announces a lunch break while the protagonist's parents watch. Song Guk's mother arrives on set and calls out to her son. Curious about the pace, the director asks if she finds the work tiring, and the woman replies that she still enjoys the process. Worried about the effort, the man says the job is demanding and offers help if she needs it. Changing the subject, he asks when the baby is due, and she answers December or January. Interested in the conversation, the director decides to bring up Michael's performance, laughing about the situation. He says the audience loves the fights between Michael and SEO and Guk because they're like Tom and Jerry. Careful with the topic, the director asks if the chaos bothers the boy's mother comment. Her answer, she says she trusts him and thought the fight was funny, thanking him for his attention. The woman says goodbye and calmly leaves the set together with Lucas. During the break, Taeyong starts talking about lunch excitedly. Meanwhile, Song Guk sleeps deeply after eating so many bananas and ends up exhausted, sleepy from the feast. The boy admits that the fruit made him very sleepy. Approaching angrily, Michael glares at Song Guk and calls him bold because of the fight, upset about the past. He yells at the protagonist hit him earlier for no reason. Responding slowly, Song Guk says that Michael is rude and finds all of this funny, explaining the success. Someone says that Song Guk's manner always attracts viewers. Standing firm, the protagonist says Michael is crossing the line and suggests a lesson, annoyed with the boy. The young man calls Snonga a crazy kid and is surprised by his temper. Suddenly, in the middle of the commotion, the protagonist feels a strong pinch on his cheek, crying loudly. He complains that the pain became unbearable after the pinch, out of control in his crying. Baby Sean Guk wails while Michael panics and says the kid went nuts. Michael tries to fix everything and asks the baby to be quiet. When Yuni calls the boy, still holding the little one, he asks what the woman wants with him. Now serious in her approach, she asks if Michael pinched Song Guk's cheek earlier. The protagonist changes his expression and smiles, while the manager gets upset and says, "The baby doesn't cry like that for nothing." Firmly warning him, Yuni asks Michael to avoid so much contact with Sinong Guk during filming, confused by the rule. The boy complains about the protection around the little one and calls him a useless brat, calling her response. The woman reminds him that the baby has already done commercials, leaving Michael embarrassed. Decisive in command, Yuni orders him to act like a professional and not touch any children, carrying Song Guk in her arms. She hopes the message is clear to the boy. Frustrated with everything, Michael lets his anger show on his face, nervous about how things are going. He says he came to Korea to be a star, not to take care of babies. Complaining about the job, the boy feels trapped and hates his current situation, thinking about the future. Michael considers quitting the project to escape the discomfort. The phone suddenly rings, interrupting, and he answers impatiently, saying he's busy repeating the excuse. He insists that he can't talk to anyone right now. His face changes with surprise upon receiving news from some Dong Entertainment. Then we see a view showing the company's building prominently, thanking everyone for being there. The man greets those attending the important meeting. Happy with the moment, he values the team's time, and Taeyong smiles politely, mentioning a little one. The director talks about the meeting with the family present, and the mood lightens, revealing something new. He announces a performance bonus and is excited about the success, excited by the numbers. The results show that Just Baby has over 50% viewership, motivated by the response. Everyone wants to shine until the final episode ends strong. Continuing with the agenda, the meeting brings up the plan for a special episode for the team. Excited by the idea, the new proposal follows a Christmas theme to please the audience. Discussing the details, the director plans to prepare Siwon Guk for the festive special. Dressed for the occasion, everyone gets into the Christmas spirit, with Siwon Guk in the special episode. Enjoying the idea, the man reacts positively to the special's plan, and the mother smiles as if seeing something amazing, confident in the success. The director gets excited about the Christmas episode and is full of energy, arriving in a hurry. The assistant finds out something bad, while the group is gathered. Suddenly impacted, they receive heavy news that changes the mood. Shocking in the headline, the report says, Song-guk suffered due to his parents' greed and accuses them of child exploitation. The nightly news shakes the city as it brings hot information about the protagonist. They talk a lot about the cute baby Song-guk, who ended up in the middle of a shocking family mess. Worried about everything, the presenters mention a strange article accusing the parents of using their son, even without clear evidence. The public feels anxious and concerned about what's happening with the boy. At home, Song-guk's family gathers nervously in a heavy atmosphere. Full of doubts, the mother shows fear in her eyes, while thinking out loud about what to do in this whole mess. Meanwhile, the director tries to calm things down and says it's nothing more than trashy magazine talk, and he wants to dig deeper to find out who wrote it and understand the motive behind it. Song-guk seems really angry despite the whole mess, and makes it clear how uncomfortable he feels. The family looks at him worried, seeing the boy mix anger with his usual cuteness, genuinely mad. The boy lets out a loud scream straight in the director's direction. He complains using the word person, leaving the man stunned and unsure how to react. The father thinks his son's blunt attitude causes problems, but blames dirty campaigns driven by power. They need to hurry and find out who leaked the article and why. To win this game, quickly the director asks for help from his contacts, because the pressure is high and he wants to resolve it fast. Then the man agrees with the little one and admits that Song-guk is right about this whole situation. It makes sense for the director and the network to lead the solution, because the boy believes they have values. He warns that reporters will be hanging around for a while and suggests staying home as much as possible. Song-guk needs to take a break from filming, while the mother becomes distressed about his well-being. Yinny promises to take care of the boy, and So Young sighs in relief at the extra help she receives. The manager talks with the director, who assures her he'll resolve everything quickly and asks her to stay calm. Kwak shows concern, but insists it will be over soon, and tries to cheer the young woman with comforting words. Mag falls peacefully on the city, but the calm air hides what is still to come. On a dark and silent street, the assistant meets the director for a quick chat. Curious about the situation, he asks if the man finished saying what he needed to. The director grows uneasy because an article is troubling him, and his face reveals the weight of it. A paper reveals a strong report, saying Saiwon-guk's parents disrupt filming every day. He's surprised and nervous about what he read, unsure how to handle this new bombshell. Kwak becomes suspicious of who might be behind it and thinks there's a spy on set, but the assistant denies it. The assistant recalls nearly losing his job and swears he now avoids any kind of trouble. A guy calls everyone to help those in need out there. During a light snowfall, two friends happily enjoy Christmas Eve together. The young man finds the snowy Christmas atmosphere beautiful and smiles, admiring the whole scene. Suddenly, someone appears, pushing a stroller, and grabs attention right away. Couple finds the man with sunglasses and a mask strange, and the guy jokes about his outfit in the cold. A weird noise comes from the stroller. It makes them curious about what's going on. The baby's cry echoes loudly, and the person tries to calm the child as quickly as possible. And the man with sunglasses looks tense and wonders if it's worth staying there at that exact moment. Then we see it's the protagonist's mother, saying she needed some fresh air outside. Her plan now is to surprise her husband after work with a special visit. So Gum talks to herself, saying she wants to walk a bit, but would rather not be seen by anyone right now. A memory of little Song-guk in the stroller pops up, and the shame makes him very irritated. Others nearby are chatting, and someone asks if they saw last week's video of the baby. They talk excitedly about the Christmas special that everyone's been buzzing about. Taehyun, dressed as Santa, charms the girls with a charisma no one can resist. Meanwhile, Ranga, as a reindeer, strikes a cute pose they jokingly call the capitalist pose. One of them says Rudolph was cool, but the snowman boys stole the whole show. The couple finds Ranga adorable and jokes that they feel like squeezing such a cute baby. Someone kills the mood by mentioning the article that's been going around now. She asked if you saw the report, saying the boy's parents are overexploiting him. People praise Song-guk's talent and say he's smart and shines in acting. After all that conversation, the couple decides to leave and enjoy the rest of the night. Baby in the stroller stares at his mother with a lost look that tugs at anyone's heart. Suddenly the father appears, running toward the stroller with a huge smile on his face. Overjoyed, the man hugs his son and asks if they really came to see him in the cold. But So Young is in tears, and the mood shifts in the blink of an eye. Again worried about everything, he says, "It's getting dangerous because the tabloids are spreading the story." In a tense and serious room, the father and director argue with faces full of concern. The man insists this can't go on and wants to protect the family as its head. Quack apologizes with his head down because the network tried, but the reporters won this time. The public loves Song-guk too much, and the rumors keep growing out of control. Thinking for a moment, the father suggests something direct to resolve this mess once and for all. Surprised by the idea, he hears the director ask if they're willing to try this new solution. In a live interview, the parents appear nervous, facing the cameras head-on with no escape. The protagonist father suggests a live interview, while the director hesitates before agreeing to the idea. On December 31st, a huge building appears under the gray sky, forcefully announcing the end of the year. Young idols appear alongside Song-guk, being introduced as the new sensation in today's music scene. On the last day of the year, the boys play with the cute baby before the countdown arrives quickly. A message on the screen announces the Just Baby Year and special, promising to return soon. The assistant follows everything, watching the broadcast attentively from the studio screen. Changing the channel, he shows the studio with a live broadcast already running non-stop. Song-guk's parents get ready quickly, preparing themselves to face the interview soon. The assistant explains that the live broadcast will clarify all this recent confusion, reminding everyone that the director will arrive soon. After filming something separately, he asked for calm, checking the equipment one last time before everything begins. The boy's mother shows increasing nervousness before the long-awaited interview. The father apologizes, but she asks why he's so worried. He thinks he caused trouble, while the woman calms him with kind and firm words. She praises her husband, saying he did well, leaving him flustered, all of a sudden hugging So-yeon. He calls her amazing just as Yoonhee arrives at the location, already asking if everything's ready. She wonders if the youngest has prepared herself well, and commenting about the live surprise. Yoonhee sees Song-guk smiling awkwardly there. The boy thought his parents were shy, struggling to survive daily. The protagonist realizes his father's bold plan in suggesting this unexpected interview. Surprised by their attitude, Song-guk talks about this sudden change in both of them. Looking at the baby, the mother finds him adorable wearing that cute bear outfit. Lovingly, she hugs Song-guk, showing all her maternal affection. In that moment, confidently, she promises her son to protect him from any problem that comes. Worried, the boy understands that the interview is happening because of him. Now, protagonist suggests she imagine the cameras as people. In case she gets nervous, Annie and the assistant observe the scene, finding everything very cute at that moment. The father asks the director where he is. During this hectic moment, almost everything ready. The anticipation builds before the interview officially begins. The truth explodes with a live interview, leaving everyone shocked without warning. A nervous man tries to explain the rumors. As reporters rush into the place quickly, someone leaked important information, and the team faces a wave of journalists, surrounded by reporters. The director feels suffocated, facing total chaos. Noticing this, he runs to the boy as questions fly non-stop. Under pressure, the leader grows distressed, facing so much media demand. The director admits he tried to hold back the news, but couldn't stop everything. The reporters press on, and the press conference now tries to clear up this whole mess. Demanding answers, they leave. Song-guk's parents very uncomfortable there in the middle of the chaos. The father asks for silence because his pregnant wife needs peace, begging for calm. He warns that the camera flashes are bothering her too much, asking them to speak slowly. He answers better when a reporter asks something. The man explains that the bad news about the family is pure made-up, lies telling their story. He and his wife grew up together in a humble orphanage. Working hard, the two fought to build a happy family through effort. The father reveals that a neighbor discovered Song-guk's talent. By chance, he denies the rumors, saying they're not exploiting their son for money. Our reporter doubts it and demands proof to believe what the man is saying. Pushing further, he asks to see how much they've earned in their account. Feeling wrong, the protagonist gets upset by so much distrust. Now dressed like a little bear, seeing Guk jumps off So Young's lap, angry with the reporters yelling at them to stop. The boy defends his parents with anger in his heart. He tells everyone to stop bothering his family right now. He wants to sue the reporters, but decides to let it go just this once. Taeyong tries to call the director, while the confusion continues non-stop, ordering the end of the broadcast. The man sees the team rush to wrap everything up. The boy asks if his father is okay after all this chaos, apologizing. The man says he's not good with words, but really tried. But at this moment, Song-guk looks at his mother and asks, "What's happening right then?" In pain, she reveals that the contractions have started, and the situation turns tense, leaving the boy and the father in panic. The emergency takes over everything quickly. The ambulance speeds through the city's crowded streets. Inside the vehicle, the paramedic asks the mother to stay calm, while the father holds the child with a worried look. The desperate father insists that his wife hang in there, and the boy calls out to her, very distressed, at her side in great pain. The woman tries to say she's fine, but Song-guk notices her suffering. Panicking, the protagonist reflects on what to do now, because he knows nothing about childbirth. Seeing the critical situation, Song-guk wonders if he can help while his mother groans in pain. Finally, the ambulance arrives at the hospital, and the boy shouts for his mother to hold on a little longer. At another moment, the director reacts emotionally alongside the assistant, in front of the intense scene. Sometime later, Song-guk holds the newborn baby. Everyone thinks the little brother is very cute. In the hospital room, the family observes the new member, and the parents smile happily at the little one. With a relieved smile, the assistant praises the mother and says she faced a great challenge lying in bed. She smiles back and assures she's fine because of the help she received. Looking at the baby, the man talks about his cuteness and says Minguk is just as handsome as Sung-guk. Excited, he tries to touch the little one's cheeks and says they're so chubby. Quickly, his hand gets a light and unexpected slap from the protective boy, holding his little brother. Song-guk scolds the adult and warns him not to touch without care. With a serious look, the boy gives a firm order and tells him to wash his hands before touching the baby. Seeing this, the assistant is impressed and realizes that Song-guk already acts like a proud older brother in his mind. The protagonist remembers his past life and recalls that his siblings were just little brats. Looking at Minguk, he becomes determined and promises to raise him properly. With the help of Hyun then, the director asks the child's father for permission and wants to know if he can film the two brothers. The man explains that the forums exploded after the live stream because everyone was talking about the mother and the baby, thanking the father for agreeing. The cameraman gets ready to film and promises to capture everything properly. Suddenly, the father calls the director and asks why they ran off yesterday, but he asks for calm according to the director. The problem is almost solved and there's no reason to worry anymore. The father reveals that they caught the culprit and throws a pager on the table, demanding a clear explanation. Then we see Michael being confronted by the team, while the guy in the cap recognizes the device. The blonde guy starts saying that strange things are happening because team data is leaking in articles. Besides that, secret interviews ended up in the hands of reporters, and the guy in the cap gets nervous. Michael asks what he did. Wrong with the blonde rebuts that he disappears during the shootings. Then the blonde reveals he had someone watch Michael and leaves. The guy in the cap shocked. With a firm look, the blonde continues, saying they discovered something important because of that. Then they show Michael's connection with SEO Jong from Shin. Some entertainment in an unexpected way. The revelation catches Michael off guard, and he's left speechless, visibly shaken according to the blonde. The manager already suspected the CEO because the shady reporters had ties to Shinso. To make things worse, the number on the pager came directly from the company and confirmed all suspicions. Outraged, they questioned Michael and don't understand how he helped someone so despicable. Confronting the guy, they demand explanations and want to know why he and the CEO did this. Both will have to face the consequences, as headlines expose Shin Sung scandals. In the end, CEO Jun appears, being escorted by the police and reporters surrounding for answers. Desperate, the CEO yells at the cameras and swears he knows nothing about the accusations. Watching the scene, the father is shocked, because the connection between Michael and the CEO geekly worries him. Calmly, the director talks about Michael and says Taehyung will bring him to apologize later. As an apology, the network paid for the hospital and also helped with other expenses. Still irritated, the father asks if they need anything else, but the director says everything is fine. Grateful for the private room, he thanks them and explains that now the family can stay together. Relieved, the man says the rumors are fading and that's already enough for them. Fortunately, things improved quickly because the father's interview showed the truth to the fans. Song-guk's family receives support and many people root for them. Now, to close things out, the manager resolves everything and plans to sue the malicious reporters for justice. After this scare, the director explains the plans and gives the family 2 months off to rest. Worried, the father asks if that's too much time, but the director says they already have scenes filmed calmly. He tells the father to rest and enjoy his family without any stress. 2 months later, everyone is happy, and Song-guk takes care of Min-guk in preparation for their return. In spring, cherry blossoms bloom throughout the city, and someone says it feels like the beginning of a new year. Watching the news, they talk about the flowers, and someone else asks about any good news. The TV announces Song-guk's return, and a woman wonders if the show is coming back. A man confirms what's being said on the screen, because news about the broadcast should come out soon. Hugging her husband from behind, she asks what he was watching with that curious look on his face. From behind, the man feels the embrace of the actress, who affectionately calls him darling. Curious, she wants to know what he was watching, with so much focus on the television. On the screen, sit-on, Guk's smiling face appears, announcing the rerun of Just Baby. The guy asks if she knows that boy, and surprised, he hears the actress say that he's already forgotten the kid. She reminds him that the two of them met, the little one on the set of a commercial, and the man agrees that it was him indeed. Pensive, the man murmurs that now he understands something, while the actress, not catching on, asks what he's talking about. He explains that he saw the boy around and found him for some reason. That caught his attention. Smiling, the woman says that happens because the little one is a genius, and the man repeats genius. Quite surprised, she assures that Song-guk has talent to spare and believes he can become anything in the future. Skeptical, the guy asks if the boy is really that good and thinks he might just be a cute child actor. Actress admits that connections help the boy grow, but insists she knows how to recognize real talent. Besides that, she says that Shin Some Entertainment set something up against the kid and is now sinking, with the CEO in jail. She reveals they tried to use the rookie like always, but this time it went wrong. And the man asks if she wasn't with that agency. Shimei replies that she wants to leave because of that, and thinks the contract terms were terrible anyway. Interested, the guy asks where she's going next, and wants to know if she already has any plans in mind. With a clever smile, the woman says she has a good idea, but plans to take things slow for now. Either way, she suggests investing in Song-guk, and thinks it wouldn't be a bad idea, while the man repeats invest. Thinking out loud, changing scenes. A neighborhood appears on the screen as someone yells. Calling everyone to eat the lunch of the day is seaweed soup, and soon a steaming pot appears, releasing vapor inside the house. Yuni serves the dish to little SEO and Guk, who gets excited while others watch. Closing his eyes, the boy smells the soup and finds the aroma too amazing to describe. Surprised, he says he didn't know Manager Kim was so good at cooking. Being kind, Yuni offers a bowl to SEO Young, who thanks her for always cooking for them. The mother praises Yuni for taking care of the boy, and the manager says it's only natural to do that for him. Besides that, So Young says that Yuni doesn't charge anything, bringing food and fruits, but the manager tells her to just eat. Already embarrassed, The woman adds that they're all a family and there's no need to thank. So much emotional. So Young hears Yuni say that family takes care of each other, and the older woman is touched by it. Suddenly the boy pushes the baby away and tells him not to mess with the food that belongs to Hyun. Speaking loudly, he warns that it's his, while Minguk only drinks milk. The mother and Yuni laugh at the baby imitating his brother, watching everything. She thinks that if the little one copies the older one so much, taking care of them might be easier. Reflecting on the last 2 months, Song-gak realizes that taking care of a baby is a nightmare, while the little one only makes noise. He gets upset and wonders why Minguk cries so much, and wants to know why the baby never sleeps. Showing deep-eyed bags, the boy seems to be begging for peace. The baby stays wide awake, staring at him tired. Song-guk complains that the little brother doesn't stop looking for him, even after he just came back from the bathroom. The boy remembers that he wanted a different brother than in his past life and dreamed of a loyal helper for the future. Even so, he sees that this life is also tough because the baby only has eyes for Hyung, and that drives him crazy. Exhausted, Song-guk murmurs to Min-guk that Hurong is worn out and asks him to stop for a bit. Now unbothered, the little one looks up with a cute face and makes an innocent sound, and melts anyone faced with that. The boy softens and feels his heart melt, even though he's dead tired. Deciding to give in this time, he grabs the bottle and says he'll feed his brother, while Minguk happily drinks laughing. Yuni says it looks like a baby taking care of another, while So Young says the boy helps her a lot. The mother praises Song-guk is the best son in the world, and doesn't hide the pride she feels for him. Suddenly she asks if So Young has ever thought about moving houses, because of the children now, with 2 kids. The place has become too small and old to raise them properly. Hearing that the mother says she doesn't have the money to move, but Yuni asks what if the money showed up. Calling her closer, the manager asks So Young to come near, and confused, the mother just asks why she gets closer. Yuni whispers some news and reveals that Sanwon Electronics called her. Apparently, the company wants the boy as an exclusive model, and a contract already pops into their minds. Shocked, So Gyeon can hardly believe the offer from Samjeon and doesn't know what to say. Yuni confirms that they made the proposal and says the contract details will follow shortly. The manager suggests the mother talk about it with Ji Seon to decide the next step together. She imagines it could be a huge chance to improve life for everyone there. Speechless, So Gum tries to say something, but Yuni tells her to eat and calm down first. Soon after, she reminds her they need to go to the TV station later for the first just baby in 2 months. Smiling, the manager says the station will send a car, so there's no need to rush now. Suddenly, the doorbell rings, and Yuni asks if they already arrived, while So Young tends to the little ones opening the door. She wants to know if they're from the TV station or someone else. Entirely surprised, Yuni sees who's there, and someone says it's been a long time since their last meeting. The manager watches as So Young and SEO Young-guk are stunned by the unexpected arrival. At the door, a mysterious figure is none other than Michael, and everyone freezes at the sight of him. Furious, the protagonist stares at the unexpected visitor and asks why he showed up so suddenly. In his mind, a memory quickly surfaces, showing that Michael betrayed the family by teaming up with Shin's son. June silent. Michael stands still, seeming to choose his words very carefully in the tense atmosphere. Before things get worse, a cheerful voice breaks the tension, asking everyone to wait a moment. Right after, Tagam arrives with a big smile, greeting everyone with energy, giving Michael a light tap on the shoulder. He jokes that his friends scared the others by accident. Tagam explains that they wanted to reunite the group after so long, bringing Michael to apologize as well. Head down, Michael murmurs an apology, his voice barely audible in the air. Lifting his gaze slowly, he admits he made huge mistakes in the choices of the past. Internally angry, the protagonist wonders if that solves everything, but thanks him anyway, surprised by the response. He sees his mother smile, saying, Michael must have had his own reasons. Embarrassed, Yuni hides her face while the protagonist does the same. Agreeing with Michael, Kai is always the one who keeps smiling, thinking they're all sweethearts all the time. Song-gak thinks everything's fine since his parents are calm, and decides to take action right away. In silence, the protagonist promises to be more alert, swearing this will never happen again. Breaking his thoughts, the blonde man asks if they can go now, because everyone is waiting for the family. A wave of excitement quickly takes over the group. Inside the place, the director rushes toward them with a smile he can't hide on his face. Just as excited, the protagonist hurries to meet the director. Without wasting any time hugging each other tightly, they show how much they miss each other. All this time kneeling on the floor. The director wonders if it's because of the time apart, noticing Guk's affection. Smiling happily, the protagonist says he's emotional, realizing something very special now. With eyes full of energy, Guk says he was born for this job, promising to give it his all, hiding his face. The baby thinks he's tired of taking care of kids and wants to focus on work, turning to Guk's mother. The man greets her and asks if she's been doing well lately. At that exact moment, he notices Guk in her arms, about to burst into loud crying. Coming closer, the director finds the little one even cuter. After a full 2 months, suddenly, the child starts crying loudly, shouting that he wants to be with his brother right now. Confused by the reaction, the director looks oddly, while the mother says Guk adores his Hyun. Terrified, Guk runs to the director, asking for help to start recording right away. In a serious tone, the director says they changed a few things over the past 2 months, also greeting the manager, smiling with excitement. He suggests they start quickly now that everyone is there. Counting on his fingers, he says there are 20 episodes left, with the last recording in September. Continuing the conversation, the director talks about the first broadcast of the year. After the long break, thoughtful for a moment, he suggested a picnic under the cherry blossoms, shifting the scene to a flower-filled park. Among the beautiful flowers, Taehyun and Yeonwoo gaze at Guk in admiration, without looking away for a second. Wearing an admirably pink outfit, the protagonist looks like a tree fairy, surprising everyone present. Praising the stylist, Taehyung asks if Guk enjoys the compliments, while the baby smiles. Someone from the team announces they'll start filming soon, calling the cast to gather quickly. Now, picking Guk up, Yeonwoo smiles as he carries the little one to begin filming together. Meanwhile, a black car parks nearby, where someone inside also wants to hold the little one, serious as always. The suited driver says he arrived as ordered via his radio. On the other end of the call, the vice president listens with a stern, imposing expression inside the dark car. The man in the suit is none other than the protagonist's former father, sitting pensively in the back seat. He wonders if it was really necessary to come, but keeps watching Eun-woo with Guk. Switching scenes to the office. Secretary Yang quickly finishes the report for the vice president. Curious about something, the boss asks about a certain matter, while Yang asks him to clarify which one. Speaking firmly, the man mentions the contract with Guk, while the secretary says they already made an offer before. Even so, Yang notes that the parents think the contract is too large, so the boss tells him to give it time. More interested now, the vice president asks what Yang thinks, and he replies that it's too much for a child. Suspicious of the answer, the boss asks if the boy is really worth that much, while Yang says yes, because of something special. Back in the present, the man feels a strange chill, like a strong bond, his gaze growing intense. Getting out of the car slowly, he tells the driver to wait there without moving a single step, walking firmly across the grass. The vice president wants to confirm something, when Lin-woo notices someone approaching. Calling Taehyung quietly, he points to the mysterious man, while the blonde looks confused with the baby. Recognizing the figure, Yeon-woo asks if it's not the vice president of Samjeon, leaving Song-gu speechless. In front of the imposing man approaching, the protagonist wonders fearfully if that guy is really his father. Curious, the protagonist wonders who John Jae-hyung was, and reflects on the father from his past life. Born as the eldest son of the grandfather, a man built Samjeon from the ground up, raised from a young age to lead. Jae-hyung was always prepared to take over the company. Even so, this style was very different from his grandfather, who ruled like a supreme king. Focused on results, Jae-hyung acted more like a cold king, thinking through every step. Yes, results define everything for him. as he lived constantly surrounded by achievements. Nothing but performance mattered to the man, who was guided only by numbers and victories. This applied even to his wife, who never received affection, just like it happened in the company. Even the children felt this coldness and suffered from his distant behavior every day. Tae-dok and maid Jean never met his high standards and lived with constant insecurity because of it. Unlike his siblings, the protagonist ignored the pressure and thought himself brilliant for doing so. Despite his success, his relationship with Jae-hyung was tense, full of friction between them. In an old memory, the father greets him with a simple hello before observing everything, showing only a slight smile. He seemed to analyze every detail around him. Father and son had a strange connection that irritated them both, but something was about to change. Surprised by the word, the man repeats "Dad" as a soft smile appears on his face. Quickly the boy realizes the mistake, since the words slipped out without him planning it. Ignoring the slip, the man steps closer and calls him by name, the smile crouching to the baby's level. He asks if the boy recognizes him from somewhere, nervous with the insistence. The protagonist stammers that he doesn't know anything about that. Confused by the denial, Jae-hyun says he heard it clearly, before squeezing the duck costume. Getting even closer, he insists that he's sure, while the boy finds him stubborn. Suddenly, the director appears on set and finds it strange to see Vice President Jae-hyun there, running over to the important man. So young, and the director asked what he's doing in that place. Smiling calmly, Jae-hyun explains that he came to see Song-guk, without drawing too much attention. Startled by the answer, the director says the child actor's name, not understanding the reason. Noticing the boy's shining eyes, the man recalls his youth. While Song-guk reflects, seeing the boy's expression, Jae-hyun smiles and becomes more confident about what he thinks of him. Turning to Seo Young, he asks about the contract while she nervously confirms everything. Speaking of the agreement, the man says he accepts the exclusivity and asks to be informed later. Startled by the boy, the mother covers his mouth while he screams for money in his thoughts, laughing out loud at the scene. Jae-hyun finds the little actor's unexpected reaction amusing, running his hand over the boy's head. He promises to get the money the boy wants to earn, saying goodbye with a smile. Jae-hyun says he'll come back to see the little one again, tense about the situation. The mother nods and stammers a yes to the vice president, announcing that he's leaving. The man gets up while mother and son watch him walk away, thoughtful about Jae-hyun. The protagonist laments running into the father from his past life. Now remembering the past, he sees his father holding him as a baby, before recalling his serious gaze. Years later, Jae-hyun entrusted a project to his son, thinking he was the smartest, betting everything on the boy. The father expected great results and showed real trust, smiling at that memory. The protagonist gets excited by the thought of that old trust, cutting through his thoughts. The director asks for focus to resume filming on set, now back in the present. Excited Song-guk decides to focus on the life he's living now, while the cameras roll. The picnic special continues with spring filling the air. Soon after comes May, bringing the Children's Day special to film more scenes. In July, summer vacation arrives, heating up filming for the whole show. With leaves falling in the new season, a loud scream cuts through the silence outside. It's crazy fans screaming at the idols, holding signs with their names. In the fan chaos, the mother holds the boy while the assistant complains about the mess. Irritated by the turmoil, the assistant says filming is hard, and the little one asks to be put down. Talking about the group, he says, fans invade sets to see the famous boys showing the now grown Just. They comment that the boys have changed a lot recently, with the success of Just Baby. The group shines in shows and albums that took them to the top. Of course, Song-guk also started famous commercials and became a clothing ad star. In a commercial for fancy products, the boy smiles holding the package, looking totally happy, enjoying every second. The little one embraces this phase full of success and fame. All this success helped the team, with directors earning bonuses for good results. Back to the serious topic. The assistant talks to the mother about the end of Just Baby, saying the next shoot may be the last. He walks off while the boy ignores everything. Strange feeling lingers on set. with a hand hesitating in the air for a moment, slowly closing into a fist. The hand tightens firmly as tension builds in that place. Suddenly, the boy widens his eyes because something catches him off guard. At that moment, someone tugs on little Songguk's clothes, while a voice asks for a quick favor. Surprised by the quick touch, Taeyong immediately asks for silence. The protagonist notices the idol's fear, who, despite being scared, still worries about fans hearing. So the boy calls him a true star. After the initial shock, the blonde asks the little one about the favor he had requested. Earlier at that moment, the assistant appears. Wanting to know why the two are off the filming set with the boy, Taeyong starts to explain the situation to the assistant, saying he was waiting for Song-guk to choose the main track. Already in the recording studio, the man hands a microphone to the blonde, who asked if they're really going to film everything. So naturally, with the camera already rolling, the director directly asks Taeyong what happened outside, smiling at the lens. The blonde says they're about to launch the group's next album. He explains that all the songs are ready, but the members can't decide which one should be the main track. Because of that confusion, Taeyong reveals he asked Songguk to make the final choice, leaving the others quite surprised. The director thinks Songguk is smart, but asks if letting a 3-year-old decide is really a good idea. While the little one listens seriously with headphones on, laughing awkwardly, Taeyong admits that at first they hesitated a lot about this crazy idea. Even so, he says that Songguk influenced them a lot over the past year, though the boy doesn't understand the compliment. The assistant recalls that taking care of the little one taught the group a lot despite all the mess they made. While holding a sign about acting without thinking, the group wants to leave Songguk's mark on the album as a memory, since the show is almost over. So the pink-haired one and Lucas excitedly ask which song he prefers between the second and third. Focused Songguk stays quiet for a moment, holding the headphones close to his face. Eager for an answer, the pink-haired one asks directly what the little one thinks of the tracks he heard. With a smug look, Seunguk thinks that asking for his opinion was a clever move. After all this, Hyun knows the future and knows what's best. Then, full of confidence, the boy points to a CD on the floor, firmly indicating his final choice. Lucas is shocked by the decision and asks if it's really that one, while the pink-haired one cheers, saying he always trusted Songguk's taste, who only smiles satisfied. The director asks, in surprise, which song was chosen, and Taeyong answers with a smile that Jae-hyun helped produce it. Among the 3 options, this one has the most different style of all. So the pink-haired one explains that only Jae-hyun and Yoon Seon didn't want it, as a beside Songguk give a clever smile, thinking that, of course, he was absolutely sure of his choice. The little one remembers that in his past life, It's a Lie was a B-side, but even so, it ranked first for 5 weeks on the charts. Even people who didn't like music ended up singing the lyrics, since it played non-stop everywhere. And Songguk thinks that as a main track, it would be even more famous. Desperate Lucas asked the boy to reconsider while squeezing his cheeks, suggesting that way to you might be better. Annoyed, Songguk shakes his head and firmly points again to the CD on the floor, showing he won't change his mind. Deciding, the little one picks up the disc and says it can only be that track, while Taeyong watches the scene a bit surprised, holding It's a Lie in his hands. Songguk lifts it like a trophy, showing total certainty in his choice. Seeing the boys resolve, the blonde smiles slightly and agrees, saying he'll make sure everything works out with a track chosen by Seunguk. The members of Just celebrate, excitedly promising to give their all, promoting the song online. The Just Baby forum explodes with comments from fans, praising the little one's choice. And It's a Lie, while many feel sad that the show is ending. A banner announces the final episode party, thanking everyone for their efforts during filming. At that moment, the mother calls Songguk, guiding him into a dark room and asking him to go in quickly. The boy enters and finds the complete darkness strange, wondering why it's like that, while the woman smiles mysteriously behind him in the darkness. Seunguk remembers something important, realizing just seemed to be planning something before the final episode. Even suspicious, the little one decides to go ahead, thinking he should act like a curious child to find out what it is. Suddenly, confetti explodes with a loud noise, filling the room with celebration and shredded paper everywhere. Inside, just surprises. The protagonist holding a cake and shouting happy birthday, leaving Song-gak speechless. Excited Jae-hyun and I am seeing sing loudly, chanting happy birthday for the group's beloved boy. The director explains that just really wanted to celebrate Seon-guk's birthday, so they combined it with the final episode party. The little one seems to tremble a bit, so someone asks how he's feeling about the surprise. Shouting loudly, Song-guk says he's great, clearly showing that he loved the entire party. Even though he thought it was obvious he'd be celebrated, he really enjoys it while just lifts him into the air, totally excited. Right after the director announces to everyone that the broadcaster's Korean barbecue has arrived to make the party even better. Everyone thanks the effort during filming, and Seonga gets hungry, seeing the meat on the grill. Lucas cries while eating the tasty meat, and someone next to him asks him to stop crying during the meal. The boy swallows the meat like it's a mission, while Jaheim smiles and ruffles his hair. Next, everyone raises their glasses for a toast, showing that the party is in full swing now. Together, they toast the hard work up to this moment, looking happy and fulfilled with everything. The mother gets emotional at the scene, visibly touched to see her son's celebration. Suddenly, a voice calls for Miss Seo Young. She turns around surprised, wanted to know who's speaking. The man introduces himself as Secretary Young, saying he came on behalf of John Jae-hyun to congratulate her on the end and bring a gift. Her eyes light up when she sees the package, surprised to recognize the wild ginseng inside it. Smiling, the man asks her to look at the contract when she has a free moment. Excited, So Young says she'll visit soon, agreeing to his request some time later. The facade of a large building appears, showing a very imposing place. Arriving there, Annie asks if the mother shouldn't rest a few more days, but So Young replies that she promised at the party to make the visit soon. When asked if he's tired, Song-guk strongly denies it, saying he needs to stay alert for what lies ahead. The meeting seems to be connected to the clever father, someone who never takes a loss in anything he does. Determined, Song-guk wants to find out the true intentions of the father from his past life as soon as possible. A woman greets the group with a smile and soon guides them to the headquarters of Samjin. She informs them that the vice president is waiting, while Song-young and the boy are impressed with the entire place. Suddenly, the huge doors open because a strong light shines from inside. Looking at the city through the window, the man realizes the group has just arrived. Everyone enters the spacious room, where the mother shows nervousness and SEO on Guk stays focused. Turning to them, the man greets Song-guk and says, it's been a while since their last meeting. Sitting around a fancy table, the visitors are quickly served drinks and snacks, inviting everyone to help themselves. The boy stares at the cookies, because he knows they were his past life's favorites. Yuni thanks them for the kindness offered while so young, compliments the delicious smell, and the little one grabs a cookie, dismissing the compliments. The vice president cuts the chatter and directly asks about the contract. Honey finds the offer incredible, because a 3-year contract with a 150 million won bonus sounds out of this world, surprised by the huge amount. The boy chokes on the cookie he was eating at that moment, showing total confidence. The man assures that the numbers are exactly right, just as he had said before. Knowing the father suggested this contract, the boy suspects something is hidden, but still thinks 150 million is insane, imagining this is something for celebrities. The little one questions the father's plans, while the man notices their surprise. Speaking bluntly, the woman admits she doesn't understand why the offer is so high. Smiling slightly, the man explains that it's an investment, leaving Song-guk looking suspicious. Calling Secretary Young, the vice president asks to proceed, and the manager hands So Young a document about Sam John's scholarship program, explaining the project. The man says Sam John always looks for special talents to support truly. Adding more details, he praises Song-guk, saying he thinks the boy is gifted and perfect for the scholarship, making So Young blush as she asks if that's really her son, drumming his fingers on the table. The man confirms the boy is smart, but hesitates before continuing, seeing something different. The vice president considers Song-guk both brave and brilliant, at the same time continuing the conversation. He bets that with help the boy will surprise everyone, because he believes he will become an incredible young man, leaving the mother tense, widening her eyes. So Young tries to understand everything, while the little one quickly accepts and says, of course he agrees to the offer. Suddenly everyone turns their heads and looks at the boy in the middle of the room. Zooming in, Song-guk's eyes shine, full of determination. At that moment, reflecting alone, the boy remembers that his father always loved results and craved talented people, even in his past life, staring at the man. Song-guk internally confirms that the elder is right about value and talent, above all else radiating a strong energy. The boy promises to grow and swears to be better than any talent the man has ever seen in the world. Shocked by his words, So Young pulls her son's cheek and asks what he's talking about. But the man just laughs, thinking to himself. The vice president admires the boy's energy because he notices that not even his own children have that kind of drive, watching the boy closely. The man's desire to support Song-guk grows even more in that moment, surprised by the direction of the conversation. So Young and Yunilson. As the man promises another draft of the contract for them, putting on his coat, the vice president tells them to think it over, calmly assuring them the deal will benefit the boy no matter what. Hours later, in front of the house, Young calls Song-guk and Min-guk to go to bed soon. Inside the modest home, the father thanks his wife because she takes such good care of the kids. Curious about the matter, So Young asks his opinion on the contract, and the husband admits he doesn't understand much about it. Reading the paper carefully, he finds the deal absurd because he says $150 million is something he's never seen in his life, showing worry in her eyes. So Young admits she's afraid of all this happening at once. Reflecting on that fear, she finds it scary that someone so high up at Samjeon wants Song-guk. Like this woman, Guk snores loudly. Song-guk listens to his mother talk about the risk of something too good and fears it might go wrong. In the end, serious like never before. The boy thinks his mother's concern makes total sense now. Together on the living room couch, So Young and her husband feel small in the face of the contract because they've never saved millions. And now they're talking about $150 million. An image comes to mind of flea in a jar that even when freed, only jumps as high as the jar once did, raising poverty their whole lives. They fear big opportunities, because that's the worst part of being poor for them. Noticing how this paralyzes people, Song-guk wants to convince his parents and thinks of speaking to SEO Young first. Suddenly, the husband grabs her shoulders and with firm eyes asks if they should accept the contract anyway, listening to everything in secret. Song-guk is shocked by how quickly his father changed his mind, asking his wife to stay calm. The man says the contract could truly change their son's life for the better. Life beyond their daily routine appears in his mind as he envisions a bright future waiting for Song-guk, imagining the boy in good schools. The father bets on a top-tier job when he grows up someday. Maybe even a life like the vice president's might be possible. Being So Young speechless at the crazy thought, excited by these ideas, Song-guk thinks about buying a house and finding better jobs, because a whole new life would come with all that money. Reinforcing his desire, the father wants more than their current life, because he sees hope in this incredible chance that appeared outside. Footsteps approach slowly, and someone knocks on the door, soon being invited inside the house. The man in a suit appears, smiling as he thanks them for calling him so quickly, sitting with the family in the living room. The representative says the vice president liked the fast response, since he thought it would take a week, and mentions the changes requested over the phone, showing the updated paper. He confirms the shorter term of 2 years, and the bonus reduced from $150 million to $100 million. One speaking calmly about Song-guk. The man says they added a clause to avoid overburdening the boy, and SEO Young thanks him relieved, while the little one asks to see the paper, requesting the family's signature. The representative pauses and says, "There's one more thing before finalizing everything." Smiling again at them, he reveals that Samjeon also wants to adjust a few terms of the contract. Shocked by this news, the family stares at the man as Song-guk is surprised, and the representative asks if the extra changes at the end are okay. Facing the surprised family, The man asks if everyone accepts the changes brought by the contract. Nervously, So Young wants to know which terms the representative wants to modify. Today, smiling. The man says he needs to talk about two things first, and then shows a paper about Sanjun electronic stocks. Suddenly, Seonga quickly grabs the documents from the representative's hands. Snatching the papers, the boy surprises the man, who yells his name, while So Young covers her mouth, embarrassed. Very focused, Song-guk looks over the documents and shows curiosity about what's written. Politely, the representative asks for the papers back and explains that they're adult matters, like stocks and apartments. Ignoring everything, Song-guk grows serious and asks what that means, before calling the man Secretary Yang. Hearing about stocks in an apartment, Secretary Yang is shocked by the clever boy's reaction. All excited, Song-guk smiles while holding the papers and says he's curious about what's inside. Awkwardly, Secretary Yang kneels and watches the little one hold the document tightly in his hands. Noticing Yang's surprise, the boy thinks of challenging the man to get him to pay more attention. Now reflecting to himself, Song-guk thinks pretending to be childish seems excessive, but knows it helps his plans. Very determined, he decides to uncover his father's scheme and fix curiosity, asking for quick explanations. Shocked, So-yum asks if her son really knows how to read, and confidently, the little one says yes. Impressed, Secretary Yang becomes curious, and soon wonders when this boy learned to read like that. Wanting to know more, the mother asks how he learned, and Song-guk says it was by watching news and TV, leaving her stunned, realizing everything the representative sees. The vice president was right, and promises to explain every detail to the talented boy, confirming with the parents. Secretary Yang asks if they agreed to reduce the contract from 150 to 100 million. And nervously, So Young says yes, revealing the offer. He explains that they will give Sam John shares worth 50 million, leaving So Young speechless. Additionally, Secretary Yang talks about a fancy apartment Sam John is building in Jamsil, to be ready in 2 years, explaining further. He offers a special 34 pay-on unit, and Siwon-guk reacts with attention to the generous offer. Stammering in surprise, So Young thinks it's all too much, while Siwon-guk thinks stocks and a home sound great. Reading the paper, the boy finds the hidden trick, with a clause requiring 2 years of service, or the taxes fall on them. Basically, the father wants to buy loyalty, with promises that only come after 2 years, if he thinks they deserve it. Using rewards as bait, the father manipulates everyone and ensures obedience with these future promises. Recognizing his father's style, Song-guk thinks it's a good tactic and typical of John Jae-hyun, as always going back to pretending. He tugs on Yang's sleeve and excitedly asks to sign everything, while the mother and the secretary are shocked, trying to stop him. So Yang says he can't, but stubbornly the little one insists, thinking about the future value of the shares. Imagining prices in Jamsil, he knows the contract is essential, and mentally decides to take it all for himself. Shouting her son's name, So Young grows desperate, and the manager beside her looks worried about the scene. Stephen Yuni insists they accept the offer, and says it's a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity for the whole family. Thanking Secretary Yang, the manager praises the great terms he brought in today's proposal, revealing a plan she suggests, creating a company to make a business-to-business agreement, and surprises Yang, explaining further. The manager says it'll be a company just for Song-guk to manage his own interests, exclusively detailing the idea. She talks about SKG Entertainment as a one-person agency, leaving Yang excited, liking the plan. Song-guk predicts that many other contracts will appear in the future. Because of this, smiling happily, he thinks it's his first company with his name, and feels proud of the idea. Remembering days ago, the boy knows he planted the suggestion in Businessman Kim, and later praised the brilliant idea. Revealing his plans, Song-gu wants to start small, to later turn the agency into a global giant. Offering help, Secretary Yang gets excited to build the agency, while the manager is surprised and Song-guk watches, pressing the seal on the contract. The boy smiles determinedly and can't wait to work with them, now watching everything. The adults see the little one beaming with the signed paper, and he happily says it's all his. When night falls, the scene shifts to the family's house and shows a new moment. Sitting with his father, the boy reviews the papers, and the man processes that they got these amazing terms, scratching his head. The father seems overwhelmed with stocks and an apartment, while his son reads so much. Having Song-guk, the father still has doubts and wonders if the boy understands, or is simply a genius full of pride. The man squeezes his son in his arms and asks him to let go of something, without explaining what's suggesting dinner. So-young shows a full table with a special meal prepared for everyone. Surprised, the father sees expensive food like bulgogi and fish, and the mother explains they use in advance from the contract. Reassuring him, So-young says she didn't spend much and just wanted to give the family a small luxury. Proposing something. The father wants to mix meat into baby Min-guk's food, since he's never tasted meat before. Asking the boy, So-young holds the baby in excitedly. Song-guk quickly agrees with the idea. Speaking loudly, he says that skipping on food is bad and encourages everyone to eat right away without delay. Seeing their son so cheerful, the parents smile and think about how different this boy is from others. Changing the subject, the father hesitates to talk about his boss, and the mother grows curious about what happened. Recalling the moment, the man says he asked to go his own way, and the boss supported the idea. Adding more, the boss suggested opening a shop, surprising So-young and the kids at the time, explaining. He says the boys' money helps, and if they save well, they can buy a place in 2 years. Offering help, the boss will teach them bossam recipes and business management, while So-young encourages her husband brightly. All excited, Song-guk supports his father, who asks if he's serious and thanks his son, emotionally caressing the boy. The father says he now has a dream because of Song-guk, who promises to earn a lot in 2 years in office. At night, a man talks about Young confidently recommended the boy to the vice president. Curious Sean. May answers the phone and asks to hear more about what's happening, now revealing the news. She says they signed the Sam John and leaves the listener interested in the story. Continuing, the woman asks about the one-person agency, and the man listens attentively to everything, happily thanking him. Sun Mei praises the good work and smiles at the news she just received. Angry, the man clenches his fist tightly, and his eyes show rage while he doubts what he just heard. So the video ends here. If you don't want to miss the next part, activate the notification bell and see you next time on Tab's channel.